So I watched the original 1984 film, or at least most of it, before I went to see this film, and honestly, I hated the original. It was so dumb and over the top and gratuitous and violence and nudity, and I couldn't get through it. So I almost didn't see this remake because I just didn't want to go through that again. And according to massive theater walkouts during this film, and I know it's a B movie and it's satire, and I get it, but the original for me was just a freaking beatdown. But the remake... The Toxic Avenger stars Peter Dinklage as Winston Gooze, a janitor for a chemical company called BTH run by Bob Garbinger. Binger? I don't know. Played by Kevin Bacon. Winston is a stepdad to his dead girlfriend's son, Wade, and the relationship is strained due to the emotional trauma that Wade has due to losing his mom, obviously, and adjusting to life with a stepdad who isn't really legally his stepdad. With all that going on, Winston finds out that he only has 6 months to a year to live due to some sort of brain disease. But when a group of thugs, who are also a band called the Killer Nuts, chase down an environmentalist played by Taylour Paige, who's trying to uncover toxic waste dumping by the chemical company that Winston works for, Winston somehow gets involved, is shot, and thrown into the toxic chemicals, changing him into the Toxic Avenger. Now he's a superhero who attempts to make the wrong things right, not only in the world affected by the chemical company BTH, but in his personal life and with his stepson, Wade. The film is directed and written by Macon Blair and is based off the character created by Lloyd Kaufman. There are 4 films in the original series, and they look like every film gets worse and worse with each sequel. But there seems to be a huge cult following for these films, so much that this franchise has a musical, a 90s cartoon show, a live-action TV show, a Marvel comic book, and toys, all based off these characters. A remake has been in the making for a while, and this film was actually a 2023 film, but had problems with distribution. James Gunn, who is part of the Troma Entertainment family and friend to Lloyd Kaufman while working on Kaufman's B-movie Romeo and Juliet, was planning on a remake, or maybe it was a sequel, I can't remember, and I think he's still interested, but right now he's got a lot going on. The film has a great 80s and sort of 90s feel to it, and it has a lot of RoboCop and Starship Trooper vibes to it, with some maybe Naked Gun type humor to it, and maybe a little Mel Brooks thrown in there. And it actually has a lot of heart to the story. The original film to me was a very incoherent story whose main goal was pretty much shock value. According to the director, he was trying to tell the story of toxic waste dumping in the 80s and big companies destroying the environment, along with messages on toxic masculinity and bullying. But honestly, it's just a satire shock film that's just a really bad movie. On purpose, yeah, but not really a smart bad movie. The remake, I have to say, is pretty smart. In comedy and in theme, it does tackle some interesting themes. One of my favorite being the scene where Winston is talking to this insurance company, the provider for the chemical company that Winston works for, and have the medication that will save his life.
You're on the Platinum plan with your BTH employee coverage.
That is me. Platinum.
Yes, which excludes benefits covered under the Gold plan.
I am Platinum.
Yeah, you have Platinum. But like I said, only treatments listed on the primary tier are covered. Secondary tier treatments are covered, but not if you didn't qualify for the Admiral's plan, unless you selected a co-tier.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
You have Platinum.
Doesn't Platinum cover the Gold?
Oh, hun, I'm talking about tiers.
I don't know what tiers are.
The phone call is really sad and funny and so relatable, and to me, a laugh-out-loud moment that this film actually has a lot of. The very stupid Naked Gun type humor was great, like a police officer with an itchy trigger finger who has already emptied his gun into a criminal while shouting, "Show me your hands," was just absolutely hilarious to me. I love the titles describing each location in the film that were so stupid, but really great. Peter Dinklage is really fantastic as Winston. He's actually likable unlike the original Toxic Avenger Melvin, who I absolutely couldn't stand and had no redeeming qualities in his character whatsoever, the Winston character you feel for. He has depth, and you can relate more to this guy. He has heart and compassion for his stepson, and it gives the film goals and risks. I love Dinklage's take on this character and nails every scene that he's in. He is absolutely amazing in this film. He's perfect for the role. David Yao plays this wise hobo, Guthrie Stockins, and the dialogue written for this character is magical. Kevin Bacon is fun to watch as his character Bob, the owner of the company, who is just an evil version of Kevin Bacon, but it works. Elijah Wood is also kind of interesting as Fritz, Bob's brother, and who sort of looks like Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin in Batman Returns. And he's also the head of Bob's henchmen, the guys who are in the band. The film is not like the original really at all, and I think it's probably going to make some hardcore Toxic Avenger fans pretty unhappy. It is very over the top and stupid with ridiculous violence, but it's not as aggressive as the original film, especially when it comes to the sexuality. The story is very different between Melvin and Winston. One who's a janitor at a gym, and the other the chemical company. The bad guys are still very over the top and almost cartoonish, and the chicken head guy, who when you find out what he is really funny and disturbing and just weird and out of place, but it works. The film has elements of the original, but it's not as hateful and mean as the original. The first film, the characters had no real redeeming qualities to them. Even the blind love interest, which in this film, she's there, the blind character, but she's not the Toxic Avenger's love interest. And even though she's introduced the same way as the original film, the outcome is pretty different. The story sort of falls a little flat in the end when it tries to wrap everything up, but it does have some heart to the end of the film, which I enjoyed. It feels very video game-like, and also would make an amazing video game. One of those like 1990s scrollers that I used to love so much. And the film actually looks incredible. Very colorful and bright and saturated. Again, almost like a video game. It has some fun characters in a fast food restaurant that looks like it comes straight from Grand Theft Auto, even in their advertising. This film has a lot of fun to it. It doesn't take anything seriously, and if you love movies like Starship Troopers, RoboCop, and to a certain degree The Naked Gun, you'll absolutely enjoy this movie. It is very violent, but like cartoonish, unrealistic violence. The Toxic Avenger is a wild, fun ride if you can stomach it. It won't be for a lot of people, but it will probably become a cult classic down the road for a certain type of moviegoer. With a great performance by Peter Dinklage and some really funny off-the-wall humor, I'm giving the Toxic Avenger 3.5 stars out of 5. The version I saw was in R for very good reasons. Violence, bloody images, language, disturbing images, some quick, very odd nudity. It's not a safe film by any means. I heard that there is an R-rated version. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but let me know what your thoughts are on this wild satire. Did you enjoy the film? Did you enjoy the original? The original's not my type of film, honestly, but that's just me. Like and subscribe so we can be friends, and as always, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and let's see it together.
Toxic to be popular, but it helps.
Toxic Crusaders, they're gross, but they still get groove.
Hideously deformed action figures from Playmates.